What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls commentary. Alright guys, we are now at the last video of the character builder series, and as you guys know, if to the extent that you have been following up with the series, in our last video we completed the archives, and just after that we went on ahead and went into the demon ruins and lost Isolaeth and defeated the bed of chaos after a very much dreadful fight. And actually it wasn't one fight, I'll say it took like 3 attempts, so I'll say 3 fights, right? Alright, so at this point we're going to go ahead and dive into the catacombs to go even further into the Tomb of the Giants. Down into the tomb, what we'll do is go ahead and attempt to kill Gravelord Nito, and after that we'll go ahead and go to the Firelink altar, offer up the souls, and try to defeat the game. Right, go ahead, try to finish the game and defeat Lord Gwyn. Alright, so basically, I mean, who's going to fight those skeletons, right? We're just going to go ahead and take the shortcut, fall off the bridge, go ahead, flip off into this lower ledge, right? Go ahead and descend into the lower level and fall once again to the very bottom, right? And actually we probably need to tighten up on our vitality first, because those falls can really take a toll. Alright, and we have the bone wheels going on. But are we really going to sit here and try to fight these guys? No. And actually what I usually do is I kind of take the lock off and I just kind of run, and when I see them I just quickly change directions. Because, I don't know, when the reticle is off, it's kind of easier to dodge, in my personal opinion. Alright, now, to the extent that you guys are new to the Tomb of the Giants, you have a couple options. Actually, you have 3 options. You can kind of, take about an hour, right, to venture off in the dark and die a whole bunch of times. Or you could use a cast light spell, right? Or you can use the high-speed headpiece that I'm wearing, which will give you illumination, which in my opinion is kind of better of the 3. The cast light spell being the second best. And the reason why I say that is is second best is because, to the extent that you're a sorcerer, you might not want to use an attunement slot on that particular sorcery. So this is why I say this headpiece is the best. But to the extent, and actually there's a 4th option, because I forgot about the lantern that you get from the necromancers, right? And actually, when you guys are in the catacombs, to the extent that you do not have the cast light, nor do you have this particular headpiece, I would challenge you to go after every necromancer, because one of them, it will drop that high-speed lantern. I think that's just the way it is. One of them will drop the lantern. Right? So if this is your first playthrough and you're kind of like, dude, I can't say anything down here, well, just go ahead into the catacombs. You should get a lantern. Only thing with that is you won't be able to use a shield, because you have to equip the lantern in the left hand, which is the hand that normally you would hold the shield. Alright, so let's try to get rid of this pesky Black Knight carrying the halberd. Right, and he just awarded us the halberd and a Titanite. Alright, and we're being invaded. How convenient. Now, if you guys notice, I'm already 125. Right, and that is because I did a whole bunch of PvP and went on ahead and upgraded my character. Now, I know you guys are probably like, hold on, dude. I mean, what the... why didn't you kind of showcase some of the PvP? Well, kind of hold your horses, guys. What I did was, after the completion of this upload, there should be following a first impressions video. And, just like usual, it's more than 20 minutes, right? So you guys get a whole bunch of bouts in there. And the title is going to be called First Impressions of a New Build. That particular video will feature me and the Kiln going through a series of bouts and showcasing the positives and the negatives as far as what I can see of this new build. So, you guys have followed the series. You have basically saw the process by which I used to develop my character. And you will get a first impressions of a new build to where you can see, basically how I incorporate everything that we have done from part 1 to part 12. Right. So, to the extent you guys are kind of interested in my battle mage, just go ahead and kind of stay tuned for that. Alright, so back to business. Now, with regard to these little high-speed bone kind of things, you don't have to fight them. Just kind of do like I do and run past them. Now, you can, but is it necessary? No. Alright. So as you guys can see, we're met with the pinwheels. And I think it's about 6 of them. And actually, Paladin Leroy should have invaded us in the same location that we defeated that last invader. But the thing is, to the extent that you have an invader there, Leroy will not simultaneously invade. Right, so this is why he's kind of coming to the game so late. And actually, we need to go fight him, right? Because, at first I was going to ignore it. I'm not really, I don't use a grant. I'm not going to be using it for this particular build, but I thought about it later on. I said, you know what, I might just go ahead and use the Sanctus, which is a shield that regenerates your HP in the event that you didn't know. And I just figured that at some point I might use it as an option. I mean, why not? Especially when I have the sorceries with the miracles combination. One thing that I could do, to the extent that I'm kind of in a bind, I can go ahead and cast a Crystal Homing Soul Mass, I think that's what it's called, for protection, while at the same time cast Regeneration in addition to the regeneration benefit that I get from the shield, right? And that'll kind of bring my HP up in the event that I need it, during some PvP or maybe some PvE. Alright, now, another thing to cover with regard to the lower portion. This is an excellent place to farm humanity. And I am not talking about the humanity that you would normally get up in the humanity bar. I'm talking about the humanity in your inventory. Right? So, to the extent that you guys kind of need some humanity, maybe you're doing a lot of losing with regards to your invasions, and you find yourself like, holy crap, I only have like 10 humanity left. Well, to the extent that you still have quick access to the lower levels of the Tomb of the Giants, this is a wonderful place to go ahead and farm babies. One thing that I would suggest to kind of increase your drop rate is to go ahead and have at least 10. Actually, you only need 10, right? I'm not going to say at least. That kind of implies you need, that's the minimum. But actually, it's not the minimum. That's all you need. Right now, if you have 99 in there, it will not do any difference than the 10. But the 10 humanity, right, in your illuminated humanity window will give you 210, I believe, drop rate. Now, couple that with the covetous, serpent ring, I think that's what it's called, but it's kind of like a gold snake looking ring. Couple that with the 10 humanity and you have about 410, right? And I'll say maybe after about an hour or so, you can easily have about 50. Hour maybe, it might not take that long, kind of depend upon the conditions, right? Alright, so let's just kind of, and these are the babies that you would have to farm. Now, just in case it's kind of like your first time around, and actually what I was going to do is just kind of kill a couple of them so you can see, but I don't really need any humanity. Just keep in mind that to the extent you and you can see that they're kind of everywhere. And, I've even, now you see those things that were, well, okay, that's a blood stain. Anyway, now, one trick with regard to farming babies, I kind of forgot to cover. With regard to farming babies, you want to make sure that you are really paying attention, excuse me, to the light. There's one right there. And see, that would have been one, but I already have 99 humanity. Right, you guys see that bag? That would have been a humanity. You guys really need to pay attention to the lights, right, that illuminates from a dropped item. The reason why I say that is because I guess that's supposed to be kind of like a swampy area. I guess. I'm not 100% sure. And to the extent that it is some type of quicksand or swamp or something like that, they will not just stay on ground. Right? You sit there and slip up and they will sink and you will lose it. So just make sure you kind of, you know, instead of, okay, and there's your white Titanite slab in the event that you want to go ahead and tighten up your chaos, your occult or divine weapons. So yeah, like I was saying with regard to the humanity, you want to make sure that you are really paying attention because, you know, let's just say you pop off like 10 of those babies and you see 5 illuminated white lights. Well, guess what, guys? If you just kind of stand there and leave them there, they will disappear. Right? So it's in your best interest to hurry up and go pick them up. Alright, so enough about farming humanity. So here's an intro to the good old Gravelord Nito boss. Full of skeletons, I assume amassed from victims. Which is basically the same thing that the Gravelord sword is made up of. Alright, now, things to keep in mind with regard to Gravelord Nito boss fight. Now, I have seen some videos of these guys having a hard time with Gravelord Nito. Mainly because one mistake that they make, in my personal opinion, is trying to tackle these ridiculous skeletons. But guess what, guys? To the extent that you are really giving Gravelord Nito a beatdown, he will kill the skeletons for you. Just stay on the target at hand, concentrate on Nito, and everything will be fine. Because if you notice, once those skeletons erected, I never targeted them. I ran straight past them and went straight to Gravelord Nito. Right? Because with the swipe of the Gravelord sword, or with the casting of that kind of, I don't know what kind of spell that was, but he will kill them for you. Right, so that's that. Victory achieved. Right, so let's just go ahead and light the bonfire. Alright, bonfire lit. And we can head on off to the Firelink Shrine. Alright, now we're back in the Tomb of the Giants because I wanted you guys to see the location of the Paladin set. Right? Now, keep in mind, guys, if you kind of ignore Paladin Leroy, you know, and you kind of like don't want to kill him, you know, you just want to go straight to Gravelord Nito and you do not kill him, that Paladin set will not be there. Right, so just keep in mind that to the extent that you want the Paladin set, ensure that you kill Leroy first. Alright, so now let's just kind of well, actually, now that we have killed him, to the extent that you guys want to get the prostration gesture, you can learn that from this guy. You can also purchase, as you can see, Eyes of Deaths, a Divine Blessing, yada yada yada. In addition to all the family masks, a couple miracles, and the cleric set. Right? But, you know, we don't need any of that for our build. Right? So who cares? Nobody. Nobody cares. So this guy is trying to be insulting by calling me a sorry fool. Right? So let's just go try to drain his HP. We don't like any insults in the brigade. Right, and unfortunately, I believe he is going to fall before we have an opportunity to drain his HP. And my thing is, I wonder, can you even drain it? I think with all that, excuse me, his HP was only brought down to, I don't know, maybe a half. Alright, Alright, so now we're at Gwyn's tomb. Now, if you guys notice, I went from a few humanity to 49 humanity. And the reason being is because all of the PvP that I did to get myself from 14, I think it was, to 49 will be showcased in the first impressions of a new build video. Right, so I didn't miss out on the action. I didn't cut out on it. Right, you guys will see it in the upcoming video. Alright, so basically, let's go ahead and try to complete the game. Alright, so to the extent that you guys are kind of interested in some of those high-speed Black Knight sets, right, you can get all of them. You know, now you might not get it the first time around, but you know, you kind of farm these Black Knights, you will be able to get all of the items. Alright, items including the Black Knight Greatsword, the Black Knight, okay, Greatsword. Okay, there's like 2 Black Knight swords that you'll get. I don't know the name of both of them. I know one of them is a Greatsword. What else? The Black Knight Great Axe. A ridiculous weapon in my personal opinion, even though there's a lot of people who use it. And the Black Knight Halberd and the Black Knight Shield, in addition to the Black Knight Armor set. Right, but since I will not be using any of those items for my particular build, I will not go over there. But at this point, facing to the right, you would find the Black Knight Armor set. Right, so you can look just like some of those high-speed Black Knights right there. Or maybe low speed, right? Alright, this is also a good location to farm Titanite chunks if you're interested in that type of thing. But we're going to focus on the task at hand, which is defeating Gwyn. Alright. Okay, he drained all my endurance / stamina. And actually, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, they kind of go after the boss with 3 guys, but I don't need 3. I mean, 1 is good, right? Me and 1 other person, keep the camaraderie up. Right? Some good old co-op cohesion, you might want to call it. Alright, blue Titanite chunk. Alright, let me just kind of go ahead right into it. Alright, things to keep in mind. This guy is a fast swinger. And if you guys notice, I tried to parry him on that first swing, but I wasn't able to do it. But I followed up with the second swing. So it's all good, right? Alright. Now this guy is pretty much a fast swinger, and he can kind of beat you to a pulp. So unless you're good with the parries, you might want to kind of keep your distance. And as you guys can see, I'm going to try to hit him up with the Tranquil Walk. I don't know if it'll work, seeing that he's a boss, and obviously it doesn't. Right, because he's still kind of flying around the ring trying to beat us to a pulp. Alright. Alright, got another parry in there, but, you know, a little shot to the face is sufficient. Alright guys, so this is the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Stay tuned for the next video, first impressions of a new build. Martyr's Brigade is out.
Bless thy safe return. Let calf and flount serve your highness. We are here to serve your highness. rest upon